I never thought my golden years would turn into a nightmare straight out of a Western thriller. But here I am, John Whitaker, telling you how it all went down on our family ranch in the rolling hills of Montana. I'd spent my life building Whitaker Ranch from a scrappy plot of land into a thriving cattle operation, complete with 2,000 acres of prime grazing fields, a herd of Black Angus, and a cozy log cabin that overlooked the Bitterroot Mountains. After my wife, Margaret, passed from a long battle with heart disease 5 years back, the ranch became my everything. My daughter, Emily, and her husband, Ethan, lived in a smaller house on the property, helping out with the day-to-day. Or so I thought. It started on a crisp autumn morning in 2025, the kind where the sun rises golden over the Rockies and the air smells like pine and fresh hay. I was in the barn checking on my insulin supplies. I've been type 1 diabetic since my 40s, a souvenir from years of hard labor and stress. My doc in Missoula had me on a strict regimen, long-acting insulin at night and rapid-acting with meals. I kept my vials in a locked cooler in the tack room, away from the dust and heat. That morning, as I prepped for the day, our local vet, Dr. Lisa Ramirez, pulled up in her dusty pickup. She wasn't there for the cows. She had a worried look that cut through the morning chill. "John," she whispered, glancing over her shoulder toward the main house where Emily and Ethan were probably sipping coffee. "Don't take your evening shot tonight. Please. Meet me at the old feed store off Highway 93 at 7 p.m. She slipped me a crumpled note with her clinic address and hurried off, her boots kicking up gravel. I stood there, vial in hand, my heart pounding like a stampede. Why would Lisa, who'd treated our livestock for a decade, warn me about my own meds? Skipping insulin could land me in the ER with ketoacidosis or worse. But something in her eyes, pure fear, made me pocket the note. Emily had pushed for this family retreat idea a few months earlier. "Dad, you've worked the ranch nonstop," she'd said, hugging me in the kitchen one evening. "Let's take a road trip through Yellowstone. Just us three. Ethan got a bonus from his real estate gig in Bozeman, and we want to spoil you." Ethan nodded, his designer cowboy hat tilted just so. "It's the least we can do. John, you fronted us the cash for our house extension last year. I'd been moved. Emily was my only kid, the one who'd grown up riding horses with me, learning to mend fences before she could drive. Since Margaret's death, the ranch house echoed with emptiness, and their offer felt like a lifeline. We'd set out 2 days prior in Ethan's shiny Ford F-150, towing a camper for overnights. The drive through Montana's backcountry was stunning, towering pines, elk grazing by the roadside, the Yellowstone River sparkling under the sun. But I'd felt off, dizzy spells, unusual fatigue. I chalked it up to the altitude or the bumpy roads. Now, with Lisa's warning buzzing in my head, doubt crept in like a coyote in the night. That afternoon, as we unpacked at a campsite near Gardner, I watched Emily and Ethan. They laughed over a campfire, roasting marshmallows like a picture-perfect couple. Emily, with her freckles and Margaret's smile, and Ethan, the smooth-talking salesman who'd swept her off her feet 5 years ago. From afar, they were the ideal family. I excused myself early, claiming a headache, and drove to the feed store alone. Lisa was waiting in her office. "Door bolted." "I didn't want to alarm you publicly," she said, her voice trembling. "But I overheard something at the co-op yesterday." She pulled out her phone, showing grainy security cam footage from the vet supply room. Timestamp: the day before our trip. Ethan, in a baseball cap, slipped behind the counter while the clerk was distracted, pocketing a vial. "That's veterinary insulin," Lisa explained. similar to human rapid acting, but concentrated. I checked inventory after, missing one. At first, I thought theft for resale, but then I remembered your diabetes. My mouth went dry. Why steal it? Lisa hesitated. Overdose. In diabetics, too much drops blood sugar fatally low, confusion, coma,
Death.
out here in the wilderness. It'd look like a hiking accident or natural causes. She played an audio clip next, recorded discreetly at the co-op cafe. Emily's voice. Tonight's the night. Right? Swap his vial in the camper. Ethan's reply. He'll injected himself. By morning, it'll seem like diabetic shock. No autopsy needed in these parts. Rural coroners rule it natural. Then the ranch. The life insurance, $1.5 million payout. We'll sell off the land. Pay our debts. The words hit like a gut punch. My Emily. Plotting my end for the ranch? The one I'd willed to her. Thinking it'd secure her future. Tears stung my eyes as memories flooded, teaching her to rope calves. Her wedding where I danced with her under string lights. How had greed poisoned her heart? I sat in Lisa's office. The weight of betrayal crushing me like a fallen boulder. Why? I croaked. Lisa shook her head. I don't know their motives, but you need protection. First, ditch your current insulin. I'll get you fresh from my clinic stock. She handed me sealed vials. Second, document everything. This recording might not hold up in court. Montana's a two-party consent state for audio, but combined with the theft footage, it's a start. My mind reeled. Ethan, the charmer I'd welcomed like a son, masterminding this? And Emily.
God.
Emily. We brainstormed. Calling the sheriff outright might spook them, and without hard proof of tampering, it'd be my word against theirs. We need to catch them red-handed, Lisa suggested. Set up a hidden cam in the camper where you store your meds. I nodded.
Numb.
As a rancher, I'd installed trail cams for poachers. This wasn't much different. Lisa lent me a small wireless one, disguised as a smoke alarm. Back at camp, I acted normal, joining them for grilled steaks under the stars. Emily squeezed my hand. You okay? Dad, you look pale. Just the fresh air, I lied, forcing a smile. Ethan poured whiskey, toasting to family legacies. I sipped, watching his eyes, cold calculation beneath the warmth. After they turned in, I rigged the cam in the camper's mini-fridge area, linking it to my phone app. Sleep evaded me that night, the Yellowstone winds howling like ghosts. By dawn, my phone buzzed, emotion alert. Footage showed Ethan sneaking in at 2 a.m., swapping my vial with one from his pocket.
Clear as day.
I forwarded it to Lisa, who urged me to contact authorities. But I needed answers first. Why poison the well of our family? We broke camp and headed deeper into Wyoming's backroads, aiming for Jackson Hole. The Tetons loomed majestic, but my world was fracturing. At a roadside diner, I slipped away to call Sheriff Harlan Brooks in Missoula County, old friend from Rotary Club days. John, this sounds like attempted murder, he said gravely. Financial motive? Elder abuse statutes apply here. Get to a safe spot. I'll coordinate with Wyoming law enforcement. Emily noticed my distraction during the drive.
Dad.
Spill it. Something's bugging you. Ethan glanced in the rearview. Tense. I played it off, just missing the ranch. That evening, we parked at a remote campground near the Snake River. As dusk fell, Ethan suggested a hike. Fresh air'll do you good. John. Alarm bells rang. Isolated spot for an accident. I faked a twisted ankle. staying put. While they scouted trails, I checked my meds. Sure enough, the vial was tampered, tested with my glucose meter. It read off the charts, concentrated. Heart racing. I swapped it back with Lisa's safe one. When they returned, Emily fussed over me. Take your insulin early tonight.
Dad.
Rest up. Her concern felt like venom now. At 9 p.m., I injected the saline placeholder Lisa provided, under the cam's watchful eye. Then, I waited in the dark camper, pretending sleep. Hours ticked by. My phone lit up at midnight, another alert. Footage. Emily entering, checking if I was out, then whispering to Ethan outside. He's down. By morning, it'll hit. Ethan's laugh. Ranch is ours. No more scraping by on commissions. I texted Sheriff Brooks the new vid. On our way, he replied. FBI involved, cross-state conspiracy. Dawn broke with sirens. Deputies swarmed the site, cuffing Emily and Ethan as they emerged bleary-eyed. What's this? Emily shrieked. Ethan went pale. In the interrogation van, with lawyers en route, I confronted them. Why? Emily, the ranch was always yours. Tears streamed down her face. Dad. We were desperate. Ethan's deals tanked in the market crash. Mortgage. Debts. We'd lose everything. You have it all. Sitting pretty. We thought. A quick end. Natural-like. Ethan sneered. You're old.
John.
It'd be mercy. The arrest stuck. Theft of controlled substances. Insulin Schedule 3 federally. Conspiracy to commit murder. Elder financial exploitation under Montana law. Evidence? Ironclad cams.
Audio.
Vial tests. No international waters loophole. This was solid U.S.
Soil.
The drive back to Montana felt eternal. Deputies flanking us. Emily rode in a separate vehicle, her sobs echoing in my mind. At the Missoula station, FBI agent Carla Mendoza took over. Mr. Whitaker. This qualifies as federal wire fraud too. They forged beneficiary docs on your life insurance via email. I nodded wearily. The ranch, my sanctuary, now tainted. Bail hearings came quick. Ethan, with priors for shady real estate flips, was denied. Emily, no record. Posted bond but with an ankle monitor, couldn't step foot on Whitaker land. I changed the locks. Installed security. Nights were hell. Flashbacks of Emily's childhood, her first pony ride, baking pies with Margaret. How did money eclipse love? Pre-trial. Their lawyer pushed for plea deals. No harm done, he argued. But prosecutors countered. Intent clear. Elder abuse enhancements. I testified early. Voice steady. They targeted my vulnerability, diabetes in remote areas. The judge nodded, no leniency. As months dragged, I volunteered at the local senior center in Hamilton, sharing red flags, sudden generosity, masking greed, isolation tactics. Check your wills. Folks, I'd say. Family ain't always blood deep. It healed me some, turning pain into purpose. Emily reached out via her attorney, begging a meeting. Against advice. I agreed at a neutral coffee shop, deputies nearby. She looked gaunt, remorse in her eyes. Dad.
I'm sorry.
Ethan's influence. But I own it. We were buried in $300,000 debt. The ranch seemed the fix. I sighed. You could have asked. I'd have helped. She hung her head.
Bride.
Fear you'd say no. That sparked something humane in me. Instead of full vengeance, I pondered redemption. The DA offered pleas. Ethan 10 years for masterminding. Emily 5 with probation if she testified against him. But I pushed for restorative justice. Montana's got programs for that. In court, I spoke at sentencing. Your Honor, lock Ethan up, he's poison. But Emily? She's my blood. Mandate counseling. Community service at elder homes. Let her learn. The judge agreed. Ethan got 12 years federal time. Emily, 3 years probation. 1,000 hours volunteering. Mandatory therapy. No inheritance until proven reformed. Post-trial, I downsized the ranch, sold half to a conservation trust, keeping core for sustainability. Proceeds funded a foundation, Whitaker Elder Protection Fund, aiding seniors against exploitation. Emily started her service at the center, where I volunteered. Awkward at first, but we talked, real talks, unpacking grief over Margaret, her marriage strains. One evening, over coffee at my cabin, she broke down. I almost lost you.
Dad.
For what? Dirt and dollars? I hugged her, tears flowing. We rebuild.
Kiddo.
Family's about forgiveness when earned. Life post-betrayal settled into a new rhythm on the slimmed-down Whitaker Ranch. I hired a manager for the cattle, freeing me to focus on the foundation. We hosted workshops, spotting financial abuse, with lawyers explaining wills, powers of attorney, clear, legal paths to protect assets without drama. Emily threw herself into probation. At the senior center, she led sessions on diabetes management, drawing from our scare. My dad's story saved lives, she'd say. Voice cracking. Ethan, from prison, sent manipulative letters, blaming me. I burned them. No room for toxicity. A year in, Emily filed for divorce. He twisted me.
Dad.
But I let him. We celebrated her freedom with a trail ride, like old times. She moved into the guest cabin, helping with ranch chores. Trust rebuilt slowly, shared meals, honest chats about finances. I updated my will, half to her upon my passing, half to the foundation, with clauses for ethical management. The light lesson hit home one day during a foundation event. A widow shared her tale, son pressuring for loans. Emily advised, communicate openly. Don't let desperation breed darkness. I smiled, my girl, teaching what she'd learned the hard way. Media caught wind, a local NPR piece titled, Rancher's Redemption, From Plot to Purpose. No sensationalism, just humane truth. Greed can blind, I said in the interview. But forgiveness? That's the real legacy. As seasons turned, the ranch bloomed anew. Spring calves frolicked, symbolizing fresh starts. Emily met a kind vet tech through the center, honest guy.
No schemes.
I gave my blessing, feeling peace. Looking back, the plot exposed cracks, but mending them made us stronger. Montana's vast skies reminded me, life's too short for grudges. Protect yourself legally. Yes, wills, trusts, alerts on accounts. But hold space for humanity. That's the American way, rugged individualism with a heart. 2 years after the arrest, Whitaker Ranch hosted its first annual Elder Awareness Day, a sunny affair with barbecues, legal clinics, and trail rides. Emily emceed, her confidence restored. Thanks to my dad's resilience. We're here to empower, she said. Attendees nodded, sharing stories. One man approached. Your tales saved me from signing over my farm. Purpose fulfilled. Ethan paroled early for good behavior, but restraining orders kept him away. He slunk back to Bozeman, a shadow. Emily thrived, remarrying her vet tech in a simple ceremony under the pines. I walked her down the aisle again, heartful. My health held steady, regular checkups, locked meds. The foundation expanded, partnering with AARP for national webinars. Key lesson: I'd lecture. Talk money openly with kin. Use mediators if tense. Legally, get living trusts, avoids probate pitfalls. On quiet evenings, stargazing from the porch.
Ide reflect.
The betrayal stung, but it birthed growth. Emily and I co-authored a booklet, Family Bonds Over Bucks, Preventing Elder Exploitation. Royalties to charity. Of course. As I hit 65, life felt rich, not in dollars, but connections. Grandkids on the horizon. Ranch sustainable. The shocking plot led to unexpected healing. Communication trumps conspiracy. Forgiveness outshines revenge. In the end, that's the humane twist. We choose redemption over ruin. And, in the American West, where horizons stretch endless, there's always room for second chances, if earned with heart and hustle.